Hey, welcome back to the CAD series. Sharyq here. Today we're going to be discussing the mate and flush commands more in depth than we did in our previous video. This will be a much shorter video, so you're not going to be sitting here for a while. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, let's go over what we learned in our last video. So the mate constraint basically conjoins the two faces together, puts them together so that both faces are touching each other. The flush one aligns the faces so they're basically on the same plane. As an example, let's take these two poles with holes. I'm going to use the mate constraint to take this face right here, and using the view cube, I'm going to go click this face, and now both the faces are kind of touching. They're both on the same axis. Now for the flush, I'm going to touch this face, and now they are both parallel. Both faces are on the same plane. It doesn't matter where you touch on the face with the constraint. As long as you touch that face, Inventor will automatically detect, okay, they want this face to touch this face, or they want this face to be aligned with this face. I always find that mate and flush work better on flat faces. I would never use mate and flush on a curved face. As an example, I have two spheres here. One is blue and one is black for this example. So I'm going to go to the constraint tab. I have mate selected. I'm going to press constraint here and constraint here, and all of a sudden, wait, where did the other circle go? The thing about this is that curves don't necessarily register the side of the face, because that face can extend to weird extents. So Inventor uses the origin of it. And the same thing can go for the flush. So I would not use mate or flush for this if you're trying to conjoin them. But what works well for mate and flush, sorry, couldn't speak there for a moment. What works well is, say you're building a robot chassis. I downloaded this base model that's very similar to the one that we designed for Cash Money's last year robot, which would be 2019 through 2020 season. This is the base chassis, and as you can see, it's completely made up of just regular poles with holes. All of them are square, rectangular. All the faces that the mate is used on is all of them are flat. You don't see any curves in this, and that's where mate and flush shine. They're best used in an instance where the two faces can be conjoined easily just on a flat face. I think that's all that you need to cover in this video. Just remember that mate conjoins the two faces, flush aligns the two faces. Whenever you're in an instance where you have to conjoin a curve, don't use mate or flush. Whenever you're in an instance where you have nice, rigid, flat faces, that's an example where you can use mate and flush. Well, that's the tutorial. See ya, guys.